What's up, guys? I'm going to be talking about, of course, fantasy football again, a wide receiver sleepers. I just posted a basketball video as well on the Knicks, so make sure you check that out. I definitely still do some basketball content creation. Most of that is at night, but with the Tom Thibodeau firing, I discussed that in a new video, but also came out with part one of my wide receiver sleepers. And obviously I switched them up a little bit, but these are a lot of the guys that, I think will have really good years. Yeah, it's NFL. Messi, dude, Messi's the GOAT, though. My girlfriend's Argentinian, so I have to love Messi. Do you do Jefferson for Jamar? Nah, dude, I'd keep Jefferson for sure. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be discussing that again. This will be on YouTube after, so make sure you sub there. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you check out my TikTok, which this is live streaming on now, and it will be on YouTube after. So once we get this will be a nice Q&A right here, but we'll go over some of these sleepers and why I have them on this list and why not and all that stuff. So, yeah. Do you see Pearsall as wide receiver 1 or 2 for the 49ers? Yeah, I see him as the 1. I love Jauan Jennings and his mentality, but I think we're talking pure upside. I think Pearsall has the upside to be the 1 because the final 2 games of the season when he was healthy, he had 17 plus fantasy points in both of them. And at the end of the day, I love Jennings, but Ricky Pearsall is going to be excellent, truly. And Josh Downs, by the way, it was on this list. I would replace him instead of Dontavian Wicks and move Downs into the top 6. This list is a little screwed up only because I edited it after, and I'm realizing that now, but I'm still going to stay on the live. But these are also guys that I like, a lot. Where do you see ETN falling in the RB rankings? Dude, he's going to fall outside the top 20, and you'll be able to snag him later, So I really like ETN have a comeback year. I mean, it's an unpopular opinion, but sleeping on Jalen Noel, I love Jalen Noel, but I think Higgins is better. They're both awesome. That's going to be the best wide receiver core in the league, by the way, within 2-3 years. Like, I'm all in on the Texans right now. They're balling for sure. But yeah, we'll be going through some Q&A, and I'll explain a lot of why I have these guys here. Obviously, Josh Downs was on my wide receiver sleepers top 6, but I didn't have him on this specific list. These are just some extra sleepers off the top of my head that I'm discussing. But yeah, Tutu Atwell or whoever's on the Rams 3 is. Yeah, I mean, look, Adams and Puka are going to take, big portion of that. I would say Terrence Ferguson is the sleeper. Money Mo, Media, Graham Mona, one of the best in the industry. Make sure you follow him too. I mean, I think he's the man. Dontavian Wicks mentioned. Yeah, I like Dontavian Wicks. He's a baller. I mean, he just can't. The problem is like he needs to get in the get that jug machine and catch footballs all season long because his separation numbers are off the charts. It's all about catching the football with him. Jauan Jennings, go Vols. Yeah, go Vols, man. I'm a big Tennessee guy. I like Tennessee a lot. I don't know why. I just do. If I had to root for a team in the SEC, it would probably be them. Let's see. Oh, do you like Jamari Caldwell? Yeah, he's fine. Ricky 50 Cent Pearsall. Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. People are like, oh, he was a bum last year. I mean, he got shot. It was hard for him to get back, to what he was doing. Plus, Kyle really never plays rookie wide receivers, like almost ever. Yeah, I mean, Ayuk, remember, was in the doghouse for, I think, over a year in 2019, 2020. So, Michael Wilson, breakout year. I love Michael Wilson. Shout out Stanford, producing, solid receivers. Alec Ayumanor, just producing solid NFL talent. Now with NIL, they can finally get back to that. They didn't have NIL for a few years, but Stanford's produced some very good players. Michael Wilson, I mean, I'm sure will be great. Yeah. I think his ADP is in like the 200s too. It's not like it's substantially high. Pearsall showed what he could be in the little bit he got to show. 100%, dude. Like, Pearsall was excellent. I don't think people realize his target share the last 2 weeks was wide receiver 1 target share. And those were the weeks they finally utilized him when he was healthy. And Jauan Jennings was still out there. Just Ayuk wasn't. George Kittle was still out there. Just Ayuk wasn't. Even Debo was out there when he was still on the team. Ayuk was the only one. Yeah. Some people sleep on Rome's rookie season. Dude, but the thing is, think about how impressive those 700 yards are with Thomas Brown calling plays, who sucks. Like, and they weren't utilizing Rome to his advantage, right? Like, Rome is a downfield vertical guy. Rome is like I believe he had the best contested catch rate in college. Like he makes 50-50 balls look like 90-10s. Like he catches almost every single one. And remember, they weren't letting Caleb throw the ball downfield, which is why you saw a lot of screen passes to DJ Moore and shit. And that just, he wasn't implemented correctly, and he still had 700 yards. So I think Rome Odunze, I personally think Rome's going to become better than DJ Moore sooner rather than later. Personally. That's just my evaluation. Could absolutely be wrong. DJ Moore is an excellent receiver. I just was always all in on Rome. I had Rome higher than Marvin Harrison Jr. on my draft board. And that sounds crazy, but I had Neighbors and Rome higher than him. Yeah. Skill level jump to NFL is huge. Yeah, but it is about the play calling, dude, because play calling on the Bears last year sucked. So keep two guys, Tyrone Tracy, Ladd, Malik. Dude, I know it's a free agent and a fourth. You got to keep Malik Neighbors as your fourth. I know Tracy's great, but you got to keep Ladd and Malik. Yeah. Juwan Jennings is a wide receiver. He could easily step up, get 1,000. Well, he should have had 1,000 yards last year. Remember, he got ejected from that Dolphins game. He gets into fights a lot. Like he's very like stand up for his guys. Like people are talking shit. Like he'll go up and he'll fight them. He got kicked out of the Dolphins game in the first half, and I think he was at like 990 something yards. So he barely missed the 1,000-yard season last year. And he, what's crazy is he had a lot of those like in 2 or 3 games. Juwan is, I think, the most underrated player in the league. Him, Jacoby Myers at the receiver position are ridiculously talented that I think they go unnoticed. Jacoby's another steal, but the reason I have Jack Besh on here instead of Jacoby is I kind of feel like Jacoby's ADP, like people are starting to realize, okay, he's the real deal. Like, and Jack Besh, I think, is also the real deal. I'm kind of all in on that Raiders offense. Yeah. It's kind of like Mike Evans, a little bit. Rashee Rice, but he's not a sleeper, bro. Joe, he's not a sleeper. Like Rashee Rice, sleeper, bro. Joe, he's not a sleeper. Like Rashee Rice, I feel like everyone knows when he's healthy, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy. Maybe his ADP right now isn't reflective of that, but I wouldn't consider him a sleeper. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the only difference there. Like Rashee Rice is awesome. If you're not drafting Rashee Rice, I feel bad. Downs, yeah, Downs is awesome. Downs was on my video list. He's just not on this specific list of the first 12 guys I thought of. But Downs would obviously be in the top 6 here. You can put Wicks at 13 or whatever here as well. Cedric Tillman. Dude, Cedric Tillman, he had that one great week, and man, he killed me a few weeks later. So, I don't know. Kyle Williams hype train. Yeah, he's the real deal. He's good. Thoughts on Kayshon Boutte? Yeah, I don't know if he's recovering well from that injury. I mean, Diggs already looks like he's further along. So, Beck, better than Harris? I could see it. I think as a receiver, sure. Beck is dealing with a worse quarterback. Even though I like Geno, I still think Herbert is a little bit better. I mean, not substantially better, but still a little bit better. He was injured the rest of the year. It ain't like Tillman's fault. I mean, he had that concussion, but before that, he was getting targets and he wasn't getting the football, which the Browns offense, it's so hard to trust players on that team because their offense is going to be atrocious this year. Brendan Rice, yeah, that's a deep sleeper. In Dynasty Leagues, I like Brendan Rice. He could do it, yeah. Let's see. We got any more questions about this list specifically? Other sleepers you guys want? And I'd appreciate support, like a follow, whatever, whether you agree with me, hate me, love me, whatever. We all love talking football. Like, I appreciate everybody's opinion. I'm not saying I'm right on all of these, but we all have a right to our opinion. And I just love talking ball. You like Burden a lot and Olave. Burden's great. I just think Rome, I think would take like a bigger leap right away. I think long-term Burden's a solid option. I mean, he was the best yards after catch prospect that we've ever seen. If we're talking pure statistics, he had the most missed tackles, I believe, with the ball in his hands in years in college. If Wicks could catch, true. I mean, his separation numbers are ridiculous, but I hope he got that jug machine all off season and he can catch a little better now. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, like Shakir's awesome. Williams, I think, is starting to get a lot of hype, but his ADP is still low. Okay, Shakir is great. System won't let him be a great fantasy football player. I mean, he was great last year. Coleman's bound to take a leap, but yeah. Why do you say Royals? Dude, Royals is good. And we've seen a lot of guys like Rashee Rice 2 years ago, Xavier Worthy last year, where rookies can come in and have a serious impact on the Chiefs right away. And obviously, Worthy and Rice are the top 2 guys, but The Chiefs offense is weird. Remember, they don't always utilize their top guys. Like Noah Gray will have 20 fantasy point games every once in a while. Like Jalen Royals, I think, can be a problem on the Chiefs. I think he's good. Let's see. Wicks over Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden's ADP is like, whatever. I'm not a big Golden guy. Like, that's, I'll die on that train. Like, I think he's fast. I think he'll be a solid wide receiver too. I just don't see him as an alpha wide receiver 1 in the NFL. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah. Why is there space between 6 and 7? 2 separate videos originally. But I switched the first video up a little bit and put Besh in that first video and Harris. And I moved down, I moved up Josh Downs, who's not on this list entirely. Over Wicks though, Golden, I mean at the ADP, I mean Wicks' ADP is much lower, right? Jalen Coker, even after they drafted a wide receiver, yeah, deep sleeper. I'm not saying draft Jalen Coker in the top 200, but you can probably get him past pick 200, close to that range, and he could be okay. Because I think that wide receiver 2 spot is up for grabs. Like Thielen's getting older. Leggett didn't have the best rookie year, even though I like Leggett a lot. Renfro they brought in. Coker I like. I think his metrics were great in college. I think they finally utilized him in a few games, not as much as they really should have. He's solid. T. Higgins, yeah, but he's not a sleeper. T. Higgins was a top 10 wide receiver last year. Yeah. But T is good. T is good for sure. Calvin Ridley is due. I like Ridley this year. Yeah, I like Ayu Manor at his ADP probably a little more. I think Ayu Manor probably turns into a wide receiver 2 there. And you can get him really, really late in drafts. Is Besh good enough to surpass Myers though? Probably not this year, but you never know. Yeah, Rome is the man, yeah. Malik Neighbors, also not a sleeper, first round pick. Jerry Jeudy, I just don't trust that offense, man. I mean, he'll have a boatload of targets, and he's probably a great pick. But yeah, Odunze is going to break out. I don't care that Burden came in. Burden is a completely different receiver. Burden could play in the slot and be a yards after catch guy, right? Like, I think Odunze, they're finally going to utilize downfield. Now, he doesn't have the speed of Jameson Williams, but I'm not saying they're going to utilize him similar to Jameson Williams, but they'll scheme him up to be open downfield because he's so good at catching 50-50 balls and being a vertical threat, and he's 6'4", 6'5", so I think that helps a lot. Dynami Brown could be, yeah, I mean, Dynami Brown is fine. Yeah, I mean, again, he had a solid playoffs, but he's really never had productive weeks on a week-to-week basis in the NFL. Rashad Bateman is a sleeper now that I think about it. Rashad Bateman could be good. I mean, we'll see. They brought in Hopkins, right? And apparently his metrics are pretty high. Westbrook-Akine is either touchdown or bust. So, I mean, I never trust Westbrook-Akine, even though he's awesome individually in what he can do. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sleepers on this list, and I'll be coming out with a bunch of videos about that. Realistically, how high could one of these guys end up? Like, do you think there's wide receiver upside? 1? Yeah, I think wide receiver 1 upside, Rome. Probably the only one on this list is Rome. Like, I'd be shocked. Like, Ricky and Jawan could be wide receiver 1s on their own team, but I'm saying like a guy you can slot in at the wide receiver position on a week-to-week basis every week. Rome Odunze is probably the only one on this list. Like, Khalil Shakir is a good flex option. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings are probably good flex options. We need to see Harris and Besh, but I think they're solid bench options. Higgins, Mims, Royals, Coker, and Wicks are all bench options. As much as I like them until we see more. Rome Odunze or Stephon Diggs? Rome Odunze. I think Diggs will play fine. Noel will outplay Higgins. I would not be shocked because, Higgins is a very similar archetype to Nico Collins, and Noel's really that slot guy. Noel could have an excellent impact right away. Like, it's entirely possible. Yeah. Adonai Mitchell, I mean, he didn't play much. I still think Downs is the one there. He could play a little bit more this season. He probably does. But yeah, Darnell Mooney is good and could be a sleeper. I don't think he's a sleeper, though. I mean, he was so good last season. To the point where people are putting him, like me, putting him in the top 8 wide receiver duos with him in London. You say easily Rome, but your friend says Diggs is going for 1,400. I don't think so. Coker and Wicks are super deep sleepers. They might actually be sleeping. Odunze or Debo? I would pick Odunze. I think Debo might be okay because he'll get touches. I just don't think the burst is there anymore. But it's all about like how many touches he gets because they'll utilize him in the backfield a little bit too. Anyways, I got to get to work. So make sure you check this out on YouTube. Follow me. Sub to my YouTube. Follow me here on TikTok. I'll be doing a TikTok live every day about fantasy football and other stuff. So make sure you check out my content as well. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.